the way, he now lives in Colorado, USA. Welcome. Karibu.
Thank you, my friend. Wow. What a blessing to be here where, more than anything else, the name of Jesus is lifted up. Your Excellency, the President of Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, and First Lady, Your Excellency, the Vice President and Second Lady, Excellencies, the Speakers and Members of Parliament, Honorable Chief Justice, Justices of the Supreme Court, and the judges, Excellencies, the Cabinet Ministers, Ambassadors, and the diplomatic community, Excellencies, the leaders of the majority and minority parties in Parliament, and also out of the Parliament, fathers, chiefs, and leaders of all religious bodies, all other dignitaries and invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the beloved and brotherly people of Kenya. It's an honor and privilege to be in this beautiful land. It's my utmost pleasure to be here and see many of my Kenyan best friends. May my special thanks extend to the parliamentary organizing body for this special event, for having me at the Kenya Prayer Breakfast. It's indeed a blessing. Allowing me to share part of your life at this conjuncture of circumstances is a unique opportunity, for I am grateful. My soul cherishes every moment of my stay, feeding the plethora of reminders. I congratulate you, President Dr. Ruto, on your recent successful state visit to the United States. It's a signal of God's favor, and at the same time, an increased accountability for the people of Kenya and Africa, for its diplomatic altitude. It's an inspiration for Africa that the delight is sincerely shared. I want to convey my special thanks on behalf of my family to the people and government of Kenya. 24 years ago, my wife and our 2 children were forced to flee from their country and ended up in one of the Nairobi refugee camps and stayed for 3 years while I was under politically motivated imprisonment by the then government for 12 years. During those darkest periods of our family, Kenya became the ray of hope to my family. My son, who was 7 years old then, always gratefully remembers now that Kenya taught him to speak Kiswahili and gave him Kenyan friends. The theme of this year's Kenya Prayer Breakfast, hope, and my privilege as a speaker made the meaning of hope too personal. The fact that hope is reverberating from this place also made it too Kenyan and for that matter, too African in the prevailing circumstances. I call my life journey the pilgrimage of hope. When I decided to join my friends as a teenage student in the 1970s with a vision of transforming the oppressive and poorest Ethiopia into a free and prosperous country, the driving force was hope. When a handful of us left our homes, abandoned our loved ones, fled to the mountains of Ethiopia, and fought in armed struggle for 15 years to the point of losing our lives, for the cause we believed in, the overriding power was hope. During the darkest 12-year segment of my prison, life in solitary confinement, hope was my only anchor of survival. However, in the first 5 years when I was engulfed in total hopelessness, my spirit died. I attempted to commit suicide in prison twice. I had nothing left except dreaming of death until a person called Jesus of Nazareth appeared in the middle of the night through his light and gave me hope miraculously that I would not die. I would get out of prison and I would live for testifying his name around the world. That is what happened later after I got out of prison. And as he promised, he let me travel around the world except Australia, and I wish someday I will go there, and lifted his name for many thousands of people to come to him. Then hope empowered me to figure out a new purpose while I was in prison, which restored my spirit, allowing me to defy death and start finding the meaning of life and personal growth in a new way. I understood I had to do my part. I had to do my part to keep hope alive and make the new dream of living would come true. It was then that I learned and practiced what the Harvard Leadership Studies coined the shift of mind from ecosystem to ecosystem. Years before I read and knew about this theory. It's about a recovery process from survival to make a journey of hope to fruition. I stopped looking and or thinking from the outside in and started looking from the inside out. I began understanding myself as part of the whole problem. The socio-political environment. Instead of thinking myself as alien and immune, it was not difficult for me to embrace the biblical concept of metanoia, shift of mind from the old way towards the new, the truth and the eternity. I remember the day when I said to myself, I would do it differently if I were the leader of Ethiopia now. It was a deep understanding of myself as part of the nation, as a socio-economic political environment from ecosystem to ecosystem. The years I spent in prison for this reason became the most beautiful time of my life. Viktor Frankl, the Auschwitz Nazi concentration camp prisoner, said in his book, The Meaning of Life, I quote, "When a man finds that it's his destiny to suffer, he will have to accept his suffering as his task, his single and unique task. He will have to acknowledge the fact that even in suffering, he is unique and alone in the universe. No one can relieve him of his suffering or suffer in his place. His unique opportunity lies in the way in which he bears his burden." My fellow Kenyans, I brought these things not to tell my story as such. It is to understand Kenya's journey of hope through the eyes of the story. A nation is like a person. It passes through sufferings, ups and downs, and frustrations of various colors and walks through a pilgrimage of hope. Kenya, too, has had its journey of hope amidst the ups and downs and frustrations. Bishop Desmond Tutu reminds Kenya today through the then South Africa, saying, hope is being able to see that there is light despite the darkness. When your forefathers fought the colonial ramshackle and started rebuilding the nation, what did they have except the hope to be free? Despite the colonial evil surrounding them, Kenyan founding fathers' hope was the spirit of freedom and the patriotic song, Harambee. I remembered my 7th grade Pan-African history teacher who taught us to sing Harambee in our classroom. It's still fresh in my mind, though I can't say it now, all the lyrics. Harambee, Harambee, tuimbe pamoja, tujengi serikali, watu wa Kenya hatuna ubagazi, kila rangi tunaipenda, wengi walisema, Kenya itakuwa matata, watu walde wastarabu. I would love this beautiful choir, which we saw earlier, to sing this. Harambee, Harambee, tuimbe pamoja. Harambee, Harambee, tuimbe pamoja. Harambee, Harambee, tuimbe pamoja. Tujenge serikali. That's all I can go. Kenyan forefathers sang Harambee for freedom and Harambee for unity and nation building. It's time that this generation of Kenyans should sing Harambee again to break poverty and shine like the dawn. The then Kenya shouted Harambee to defy colonial servitude, while the now Kenya will shout out loud to become the beacon of peace, equality, and prosperity through integrity. Kenya will become the pride of Africa because said the poet. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune of a dream. However, my fellow Kenyans, I have the caveat that Kenya's hope can flourish and bear fruit only by undergoing the practice of metanoia. And that must, I repeat, must, start with the leaders. Kenyan leaders, critically starting from the three branches of government, all the way to the business, religion, education, and academia, etc., must stop externalizing and look into the deepest corner of their hearts first. The leaders must start relearning that they are the primary reason for Kenya's problems, shift their minds, and become models for renewing and restoring Kenya's shattered hope. The late famous Ethiopian singer had a song that says, when you point out with your index finger to others, the others' three fingers, these three fingers, point to yourself. Years ago, I asked my Norwegian friend, who served as Norway's foreign minister and finance minister, to tell me the magic of Norway's phenomenal position in the world. As you know, Norway, by all indexes of development, are at the top of the world. Be it economic, political, freedom, happiness, they are the most happy people in the world. So I was inspired by that and asked this friend of mine, Norwegian friend of mine, how did they do that? I expected him to give me a 1 or 2 hour lecture to help me understand the intricacies of nation building so that I might copy it for Ethiopia. He said to me, and I quote, it really boils down to one foundational thing, and that is trust. If leaders can build trust among their followers, if the government can be trusted by the people, the dreams of the nation can come true one step at a time. Hope built upon the foundation of trust becomes the pillar of social fabric that creates miracles. The first and foremost action of the leaders of Kenya is to shift their perspective from ecosystem to ecosystem perspective. Never consider it easy to think that well, let alone to practice it. However, it's not impossible. It only needs to resolve to do the impossible possible with the help of the following story. And I was at the national conversation yesterday in that meeting, and I observed one very important thing there about Kenyan leaders. And that is that all Kenyan leaders have acknowledged and knew and are aware about Kenya's problems. And this is the most important thing because it's half of solving the problem. And I will proceed to the story, this story. More than 2,000 years ago, there was this teacher who promised all the lofty and beautiful things for a group of people who came to him to listen to his teachings. Excited by what the teacher told them, they started wishing to be his students or followers. Knowing what they think, he said to them, I quote, if anyone wishes to follow me, he must deny himself and set aside selfish interests, and be willing to endure whatever may come to believe in me, conforming to my example in living, and if need be, suffering or perhaps dying. For whoever wishes to save and love his life in this world will eventually lose it through death. but whoever loses and hates his life in this world will find it for all eternity. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world of wealth, fame, and success, but forfeit his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? This teacher, as you know, was Jesus of Nazareth, and the students, his disciples. He demonstrated to them how to deny himself for serving others, and they did what he showed them. This is from the book of Matthew, the Message version of translation. Is it a huge demand? Resounding yes, but worth it. When and if the leaders start practicing this, they can no doubt build trust among the people of Kenya. Then and only then can they lead the people with an authoritative moral ground. Hope is the mother as well as the offspring of purpose. The power of hope inspires leaders to lead with purpose and the people to live up to it. And clear purpose in return springs ever-reinforcing renewal of hope. Without a purpose, though, hope can diminish and eventually will die out. In that sense, we may say that purpose is a flame of the hope. A few months after I started living in the United States, I asked myself this question. If America, only with 200 years of history, becomes so prosperous and at the top of the world, why Ethiopia, with thousands of years of history, remained among the poorest? It's a huge question. Maybe even difficult to obtain a consolidated and closer to the truth answer. However, it's a worthy question and a timely inquiry for such an era like we have now, especially for the current generation of Kenyans and Africans. The question led me to a nearby library and studied the founding America and found out three fundamental things. Number one is trust in God. That's why Americans say, in God we trust, even though now they are forgetting it. Number two, a clear and transcendent purpose, vision of their context, an idea for themselves. Number three, selfless band of leaders. These are the three foundational things that I found out from my study about the founding America, not the now America. And finally, these things created we, the people of hope. I think Africa lacks all, or at least a few, of these basics. Africa needs African idea. A purpose that learns from other countries' experiences, but basically tuned to its nature and serves our context. We don't need copying, we need adapting. Because I have a painful experience of copying communism, socialism to Ethiopia and failed. Most importantly, Kenyans need selfless leaders with purpose-driven leadership. Selfless leaders create selfless people. Leadership is influence, right? A shift from ecosystem to ecosystem which demands self-dying, as studies show, can establish people's social consciousness that defies immorality, stagnation, and degeneration. This kind of people, in turn, breeds hopeful, dynamic leaders from among its generations. I deliberately focused on leaders, not the people, for the sake of time. After all, if the role of leaders gets right, it's not difficult to shape the people's minds. Have you noticed in the biblical stories that God's anger is very strong and his punishment is merciless when it comes to leaders most of the times? When the leaders of Kenya make themselves right, they will have the power of reinventing institutions, starting from government all the way down, which is critical in solving problems. For example, corruption. Reinventing institutions includes reviewing old policies, laws and regulation structures, and of course, the manpower, as you of course know more than I do. However, we need most important characteristics to reinvent institutions. Have you wondered why the Bible refers to two wild animals in particular? Especially one wild bird and one wild animal, an eagle and a lion. It's all over in the Bible. Have you wondered about that? Neither elephants nor hippos, big ones and very strong ones, but not vultures, nor of course hyenas, but eagles and lions. I found it from my readings. There is no other animal or animal bird like the eagle with a clear and far-reaching vision and a swift action. And there is no other animal like a lion, especially the African lion, like here in Kenyan safari, with confident courage and integrity. These are the most important characteristics of eagle and lion respectively, among other characteristics, of course. Hope-driven Kenyan leaders need to master these characters in their leadership to let the hope of the Kenyan people flourish. We are lucky that His Excellency the President right now is among the courageous leaders in Africa who speaks his mind. I'm not saying this to flatter him. I don't know flattering people, except God, but because it's a fact. I have been following his meetings. I have been following his speech. And I have become very much interested in him recently. That's why I'm saying this. Clear and far-reaching vision like the eagle, and confident courage and integrity like the Kenyan lion. The vision factor is easier for you. You already know it more than I do. I don't have to preach this for you. The courage factor may be itchy and even painful in consequence, primarily because it needs courage to cut from oneself, one part of a body from yourself. And it needs courage to perform surgery on vested interests in laws, institutions, structures, etc., but rewarding in results. Allow me to bring Barack Obama's words here. Hope is not blind optimism. It's not ignoring the enormity of the task ahead or the roadblocks that stand in our path. It's not sitting on the sidelines or shirking from the fight. Hope is that thing inside us that insists, despite all evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us if we have the courage to reach for it and to work for it and to fight for it. The young generation of Kenya have to be reminded that you have a special responsibility and also urgent task for this nation. There is a traditional saying in Ethiopia that says, if you want to learn about the past, sojourn in the homes of the oldies. If you want to see the future, take a walk with the young. This is your time, Kenyans, to make a difference by learning from the elders and by showing them your restlessness against the status quo. Not by force of arms like I did in the past. Not bringing AK-47 and say, freedom comes out of a barrel of a gun. No. Freedom comes out of the barrel of peace and humility in the name of Jesus. But by reason and vibrance, you are the vanguard to bear the burden of Kenya and Africa. Unrelenting pursuit of hope and dream must be your sine qua non. One final thing, and I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget or shove aside our successes and achievements, even though they are very small. Let's recognize, celebrate, and embrace them, our successes, our achievements, with thankfulness. It helps us to be inspired, passionate, and encouraged to do more. Only with care, not to be complacent and egocentric. Humility must be the rule of the game, with Harambee the song. Let Kenyans rise and sing Harambee again. Thank you.
Let's thank God for our keynote speaker once more. Clap for him. Your Excellencies, yesterday we had the first women convocation in Kenya. It happens in other prayer breakfasts, and we were happy to have yesterday a chief guest, Patience Museveni, who joined the lady leaders in Kenya. She's also present today, accompanied by the Honorable Bahati, a Minister of State in the government of Uganda. Please clap for them. And we thank her for having to come to work with our leadership yesterday. Let me take this opportunity to invite the Speaker of the Senate, the Right Honorable Kingi, who is also a co-patron of the National Prayer Breakfast. Please clap for him. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Daniel. And thank you, our keynote speaker, for making us understand the word hope through your life journey. Now, my duty here is to welcome the next speaker. But the man I'm about to welcome on stage needs no introduction. He's a man who shoots straight like an arrow or a dart. That man is no other than His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, our guest speaker, the speakers of both houses, honorable members present, good morning. God is good, and all the time. Nisalimieni kwa haya. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe tena. Your Excellency, mine will be very brief. It's really to thank Parliament once more for putting us together to come and pray. The power of prayer has been significant and present in our lives, individually and collectively as a nation. President William Ruto and I were prayed into office by the people of Kenya, and our administration continues to thrive, arising from prayers from the people of Kenya. When we came into office, we had the worst drought in 40 years after 5 failed consecutive seasons. And through prayer, God gave us rains, indeed, beyond our fair share. Through prayer, we have now food security, and the country is moving in the right direction. I am a living testimony of the power of prayer. You all know I'm a resident pastor 24/7. And therefore, I don't want to delve in matters biblical because I have somebody who advises me on those matters. And I would like to capture the place of prayer in our lives and as a nation through reading a verse, Jeremiah 29, from verse 11 to 14. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me, and I will listen to you. And you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. I'll be found by you, says the Lord, and I will bring you back from your captivity. I'll gather you from all nations and from all places where I've driven you, says the Lord, and I'll bring you to the place from which I caused you to be carried away captive. That is the word of the Lord. Your Excellency, before I call you to speak to us and to speak to the country, allow me to digress just a little about your highly successful trip to the United States. Kenyans were very proud of the way you represented us in that great country. Your speech, your kizungu ilikuwa sawa kabisa. And Kenyans were very happy that you put Kenya on the world map and the gains that you negotiated for the country. But Your Excellency, allow me, as a truth of man, to tell you there was a little challenge arising from your trip to most of us here. All Kenyans were monitoring what you are doing in the States. And there is something that you're doing there that created problems to many husbands across the country. When you are walking there holding the hand of the First Lady, it put us back here under a lot of immense pressure. Your Excellency, our spouses, led by mine, Pastor Dorcas, were demanding that we emulate the president and hold their hand wherever we go. Mine, and you know she's a pastor, even went beyond that. I walk her to the car. She was even saying around the house I hold her hand. And I was not alone. Najua Musalia, we call each other Omwami. Akaniambia, mwami, hii maneno hii ya kushikana mikono kwako inaweza leta shida vile imeleta kwangu. Nikamwambia Musalia, kwangu ndio, but I knew because I know you, you will solve that problem for us when you come back. I was certain, I was sure. And this morning you did just that. As we welcomed you from your car to the hold room to here, you are walking fast with me, chatting. As Mama Rachel was trying to catch up with you as we came to this room. So the matter is sorted. That was an American thing. But, Your Excellency, at least for my wife, Pastor Dorcas, all is not lost. Very soon, the President will send me to the States for my assignment. I'll go with you. You have my assurance that for the time we shall be in the American soil, I'll hold your hand until we leave the country. But when we come back, please, let's go back to our lives. Your Excellency, finally, although you have sorted the problem for us, ukiwa rafiki yangu na mtu wangu lazima nikuibie siri. Nimepata habari, kwa hiyo maneno utaitwa kwa main conference halafu utajibu. With those very many remarks, please be upstanding and I'll assist me to usher in our President with clapping, Dr. William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Asante sana. Please, let's take our seats. Mr. Deputy President, Prime Cabinet Secretary, the speakers of the two houses, our speaker this morning, former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and we thank you very much. Guests from different parts of the world, from East Africa, our friends from Uganda, our friends from Tanzania, our friends from the United States, United Kingdom, and all the other countries that are here, fellow Kenyans, hamjambo. God is good, and all the time. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. It is true that I have been summoned by the main conference. And I will go and answer. But let me say this, that I am truly delighted to join you at this opportune event as we rally the people of Kenya to unite in prayer and supplication before God. Our nation is founded on the recognition of the Almighty God of all creation, and it is in our Constitution, and sustained by the devotion to God and hope in His deliverance. Our faith as a people is intentional and indelibly inscribed in the fundamental instruments of our nationhood. If you read our first chapter of our Constitution, that's what it says. At this annual gathering, we are reminded of the basic fact that without prayer and the acknowledgement of God, our Creator, we are utterly without any hope. Proverbs 29:18 reminds us that without vision, the people perish. Pastor Mitri Rahel from Palestine says, hope does not wait for vision to appear. Hope is vision in action today. And I think our speaker has gone to lengths
to explain to us and to speak to us about it. Therefore, the vision that keeps a nation together as it marches forward is the fruit of hope, a hope that is anchored on the unrelenting faith in God. We are told in Hebrews 11 that faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of things that we do not see. Similarly, the words of Isaiah, that those who hope in the Lord, He will renew their strength, that they will run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. This rings so true when we reflect on our journey and the journey we have traveled as a country over the last 60 years. We've had our challenges, but because of our faith in God and because we have believed, today we stand tall as a nation in our region and as a nation in our continent. My deputy has explained where we were a few months ago. We had a big drought that decimated close to 2.5 million heads of livestock. For the first time, we were tracking water for wildlife. We went to Nyayo Stadium and prayed. And God gave us rains. Today, we have enough food in Kenya. It is amazing what God can do. Sometimes we may want to believe that maybe we did something. And maybe surely we did. Maybe we made fertilizer available. Maybe we made seeds available. Maybe we supported farmers. But that would have come to nothing if God had not given us rain. We have traveled as a nation. And I'm very proud today that the Kenya that many people thought and believed that we were going to have a debt default, today we are in a different trajectory. And it is because we trust in God. Hope has always been the light that has shone brightest in our darkest of times, a beacon that has always guided us through the storms of life and the challenges of a nation. Every time we have been tested as a nation, we may have at times wobbled or even tripled, but we did not fall. We have always emerged stronger and more united. When our forefathers and mothers rose against our colonial masters and fought for independence of our great country, it was in the hope that their resistance would yield a better tomorrow, a tomorrow where their children would walk free from the debilitating bondage of poverty, discrimination, disease, and ignorance, as we were told by our forefathers. Without a doubt, we have covered significant ground in tackling the challenges that continue to face our country. But there is also no doubt that we still have a long road ahead to travel. At this prayer breakfast last year, I reminded you of the need to be thankful and to pray for our nation, given how far we had come and the numerous challenges we had to contend with. A few weeks ago, as you all know, we went through another storm of floods, and we lost 200 people. As a government, we have said we will relocate Kenyans who live in fragile ecosystems along riparian reserves because we cannot afford to lose any life anymore. Let me also say we are still contending with the burgeoning national debt and recovering our economy. It is true that all of us who have the privilege to be leaders in Kenya, majority of the people in this prayer breakfast, from MCAs to members of parliament, to governors, senators, ministers who are here, principal secretaries who are here, my deputy and myself, we are privileged to be leaders in Kenya at this time. And it is true that we understand, all of us, what the challenges are and what we need to do. I ask all of us to have the courage to do the right thing, however difficult it is. It is the only way we can pull our country and take our country into the future. We have, by the grace of God, now have reduced the price of food commodities. We are, however, yet to solve the problem of unemployment. We must continuously work together. I want to ask members of parliament who are here. We have set our target on the digital space to create jobs. I was in Ruiru, in Simon Kingara's constituency, when we launched an ICT hub there that is hiring 5,000 Kenyans. I was very proud to see them at work. Every member of parliament seated here, and those who are not here, have an opportunity to replicate that in every constituency in Kenya. That is why we changed the law on CDF, so that you can have an opportunity to set up an ICT hub. And one of the big announcements that was made in my trip in America is an investment by Microsoft, an American company, G42, a UAE company, EcoCloud of Kenya, and the government of Kenya, on the first ever data center that will use renewable energy, and it is an investment of $1 billion. And it is going to help us build the ecosystem to support the digital journey that we are engaged in as a nation. And you, as members of parliament, have an opportunity to be part of that momentum by setting up ICT hubs in every ward in the Republic of Kenya. I am very confident that working together in that manner and without minding whether this constituency belongs to a member of parliament who is in government or in the opposition, we are all one nation. Our target is to make sure that every child in Kenya has an opportunity, because we want to enhance the number of people who have incomes. We also managed to negotiate additional investments under the AGOA agreement. I got a confirmation from the American government that they are going to renew the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act. That will pay deliberately, intentionally find opportunities for employment for the people of Kenya, the young people of Kenya. I also had occasion to meet many Kenyans in diaspora. In fact, it was a very interesting meeting in Atlanta. There was close to 1,500 Kenyans in one meeting. And it was amazing to see a meeting as big as this one in Atlanta of Kenyans. And it is because I also believe we have opportunity for creating more opportunities for employment for Kenyans in the diaspora. And that is why Bore here and Madime are engaged, and Roslyn Njogu are working on 19 bilateral labor agreements. We just completed one with Germany, so that we can create pathways for employment of the people of Kenya in different parts of the world, because we have one of the best human resource capital anywhere in the world. Therefore, despite all the challenges, I believe strongly that every generation is called upon to rise up and tackle the challenges of their time. We must rise up as the leaders of today to deal with the challenges that affect our nation. I believe that this is exactly why we were elected to office about 2 years ago, with hope, patriotism, love for country, and love for one another, working hard with determination and prayer. I believe that we are up to the task of confronting some of our most urgent challenges, as we remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., who I had an opportunity to visit his mausoleum, who said that everything that is done in the world is done through hope. Our plan as a country is purposefully designed to provide sustainable solutions to some of our most pressing and present challenges. We have worked on food security. We are working on employment. We are building the profile of our country. Today, Kenya is respected. That is why we hosted the Africa Climate Summit last year. We hosted the International Development Associations with the World Bank to discuss concessional funding. Yesterday, we hosted the Africa Development Bank Summit. Next week, I will be addressing the G7. Last week, Kenya was given the privilege to be
Ndizi TV Obwansu Bwomogusi
forward. But we all agree that we have a common purpose and cause to take our country to the next level. All of us. And that is what matters, that we all agree that we must move Kenya to the next level. I said yesterday at the ADB conference, because many of you saw me pushing in the United States the agenda of Kenya, but half the time I spend pushing the agenda of the continent. And I said yesterday that there is no prosperous Kenya without a thriving Africa. And I want to repeat here today that there will be no prosperous county without a thriving Kenya. All of us, our destiny is intertwined. We must carry every village. We must carry every constituency. We must carry every county to make Kenya truly great. And that is why I speak to you leaders as the father figure of the nation, that we work together. We build bridges. We build synergy. We have a common destiny. There will be no success of one county as against another. We must pull together and succeed together as a nation. I want to repeat the words in Kiswahili of Matthew 5:9. Neno la Mungu linasema, heri wapatanishi, those who unite people, those who bring people together, those who make peace. Those qualify to be the children of God.
Ndizi TV Obwansu Bwomogusi. Ndizi TV obwansu bw'omugusi omulirya bwa televishoni ya Ndizi TV bono na bukura ly'obunchorya bwawo ase televishoni ya Ndizi TV chinka kichindi chonsi ery'obwekere abalirya kurwa chikaunti isano na ibire ekyo kirasorogo nkorwa Nyanza na boigo Rift Valley akesimi ase namba enoti isano na ibire inya isato isano nemo ibire isato isano na isato isano na ibire eyemo ery'otobwekere gose otutalire ase chiabisi chito ekyo kirase nyumba ya Brighton Apartment ejire busyo
and overcome extraordinary challenges, who have risen above adversity and went on to make positive impact in their communities, in their localities, and in our nation. We build hope by working together towards common goals of prosperity for all of us, by supporting one another and by contributing to the common good. We strengthen hope by promoting peace, justice, and reconciliation. And we perfect hope by investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. We can nurture hope by protecting our environment, alleviating the effects of climate change, and preserving our rich national resources. In conclusion, let us embrace one another as a nation united by hope, laboring collectively in hope, and working together towards hope. Let us build a Kenya of opportunity for everyone, a land of prosperity where everyone can live and thrive in dignity, and where our hopes and dreams meet fulfillment through work and faith. You all know what our national anthem says. And because we are going through a budget process, and because we have stabilized our economy, we're going to now focus on how to create jobs, making sure that the road network that has been beaten by the floods, many roads that had stalled, that we're going to put more resources in making sure that we repair and we rebuild and we complete the roads that are awaiting. I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised, let me put it, when I called heads of parastatals, chairmen and CEOs, and I explained to them the situation where we are. And I told them, look, each and every one of you need to go back and reduce your budgets, especially the budgets of recurrent expenditure, by 30%. I was pleasantly surprised that each and every parastatal was willing to contribute to making sure that we live within our means. And each one of them went back and they have submitted their reports, and they have actually reduced their recurrent budgets by 30%. And that is even the reason why even my office and that of my deputy and that of my prime cabinet secretary, we have said we are going to start with ourselves. We must lead from the front, tighten up our belts, invest in the places that will make sure that we create broader prosperity. Invest in making sure our dairy is working, our flowers are working, our coffee and tea are working. The places that create opportunity for the majority of Kenyans are working. And I promise you that as a steward that I have the privilege to be, we will act responsibly and we will manage the affairs of the country with integrity and with selflessness, so that we can build a nation of hope, that people know that their government cares. Let me say this, or let me disclose. You know, when I saw the debate in Kenya as to how I traveled to the US, you know, and there was, you know, all manner of figures, you know, this plane is this big and it is like this, Google here, Google there. This one must have costed 200 million because the president needed to arrive in style in the US, holding Rachel's hand. You know, I am a very responsible steward. Believe you me. There is no way I can spend 200 million. There is no way. In fact, let me disclose here that it costed the Republic of Kenya less than 10 million. Because, let me tell you, I am not a madman. When I was told the cheapest plane was 70 million, I told my office, go book Kenya Airways. Yeah. So when some friends of mine heard that I was going to travel Kenya Airways, and we have built a big reputation as a country. We have built friends. Some friends told me, how much do you want to pay? I said, I'm not ready to pay more than 20 million. They said, bring 10 million, we will give you the plane. Look at me, Kenyans. Look at me again. I must lead from the front. As I tell others, to tighten up their belt, mine must be where to begin. So relax, you know, and the debate must end because I am that responsible. And it is going to be that way. We're going to make sure that we tighten up our belts, we live within our means. In fact, my plan is that in 3 years, we must have a balanced budget. We cannot continue to have a budget that has a deficit, that before you begin, you have to borrow. I have every person, including the leadership of Treasury, Professor Ndungu, Kipto, and all the others, that that's where we are going. And I'm very proud of the support I get from my economic team, led by Professor Ndi and all the other people there. They're doing a good job. Now, in conclusion, I said in our national anthem, we pray that we shall flourish in a land of plenty. That is the Kenya we all want, and that is the Kenya we all aspire for. I want to thank you very much for coming for this prayer breakfast. You are the best country that I know. And if I had another chance to be born, I would want to be born Kenyan. God bless you all. God bless our great country. Thank you very much.
Ndizi TV, ubwansu bw'omuguzi.
Spexels Opticians abo barase kliniki kya gudika imeyomo chokisi ngoro bare obokoreri au burengeta maiso nigo bakonia ebirore na korenga maiso wetera chi machine chekerero chubumanyi bwegoro bono nkwanchira bareti insurance ikobwatia AAR GA Insurance area ya Liason Eagle Africa Kenyan Alliance Pioneer Insurance Lucent Health Amoneria ya Star Discovery.
Karibuni Spexels Opticians Gudka Clinic Kisii Town. Hii ndio kliniki bora ya macho pekee yenye mashini za kisasa na za uwezo wa hali ya juu. Tuko na madaktari professional kabisa kama Daktari Sigei na tunafanya free eye test.
Mimi ndiye Daktari Sigei. Hapa kwetu Spexels Opticians tunazo frames na lenses mbalimbali. Lenses ambazo zinasaidia katika kutatua shida mbalimbali za macho kama vile kutoona mbali, kutosoma maandishi za karibu na hata kupunguza mwangaza.
Asomo chokisi nigo bagotoka angene dukene neyo bonchoreria ya Shivling Supermarket na boigo ebenki ya KCB. Mabwate boigo eduka imeyo mocho Nairobi asama gacho a Balfour House, Kimathi Street, Mbarabare na Java House. Asamanke onyeko ganetie konyora obokoreri asomo chokisi bakire simi wetrase namba 0110505501. Noria otageto obokoreri imeyo mocho Nairobi na boko bakire simi ase namba 0110001333. Spexels Opticians, macho bora kwa wote.
Ngorore kanale lakini abande abo bwata kumubwata usitima dingi bakote ngorore kanale. Wana serikali kimuranje mura tubatsa mangana ya motokonya turoi twabene babo banene
ikiyiga asoro botirwa bene
aiga nenka yomugaka Francis Mutari amo nomongnoye Ellen
ekiriro ky'ubusibule na Vincent Onyancha
igoto kwariganirwa nebisiriri
nigaruto igitenya gitari abatatebirya mangana makonga
kamte amumulika ngiriso nkomumulekeriso
ono igatwatigaira chintakana
ne Jumapili ye ochakirensa ya monenusu ya magoroba naboigo chinsesa tonenusu cha magoroba
nabututara amanyangaki ngakibatoge tororo
mutarenge wancaga kimo abana babaminta bamuraba batigaira omurembe
ekiriro ky'ubusibule
ikiara umuntu yitete Mutari bado nwale noni tuntoli safe
watetariki.
Wima Electricals and Electronics ni wauzaji wa bidhaa za kuunganisha stima na pia bidhaa za elektroniki zinazotumia stima kama vile televisheni, hoovers, decoders, birika za kuchemshia maji, mashine za kunyoa nywele, DVD player, bulb za aina zote, power extensions, consumer units, showers, solar panels, inverters, industrial sockets, switch boxes, cooker sockets, circuit breaker, pasi, insulator, testers, meter boxes na zingine nyingi. Kwa mengi zaidi watembelee mjini Kisii katika jumba la Gusii Plaza room namba G2 au wapigie simu kwa nambari 0715009827 au 0718607462. Wima Electricals and Electronics, the best electricals in town.
Ayumwanchuwe getasini kia Ndizi TV na bugutubwate gwitira senjera y'omutandao ya www.ndizitv.net iri guturigireria na bwigo gusonje mirubiri yitwa chinse 24 nyaranka na bugusonje gwitira sesimi yawe yakoboko laptop smart tv iriyo wegokie Ndizi TV obwanso obwomagusi.
Esukuru y'okwegerya Burundi bwa Kigali ya Rocky Driving School nige gukomanya buna mpabwatu bukorera ubya asibirengo ao byo Burundi bwa Kigali nabo kwegera ekerengo gya A2 B1 B automatic B professional C light track D1 echuchire PSV Burundi bwa Kimatatu cha 14 seater D2 PSV Burundi bwa Kibus CE heavy trucks F PWD Chiabantu bali nobarema bwigomba bwate short courses cha BCD na B executive obuye bwukwigira na Rocky Driving School mburiye buna ebirasi byabo nigo biri flexible chinga kicere cyonsi urataka rituko nigo bagosomya umwaka mugima aborukiya babo nigo bantire nikiumbe kiriye gikurira y'ubusera bu Burundi bwa Kigali gia NTSA buyo nkwigirure asenze mu yemesa basic mechanics basic first aid na yanda mange batalire imeyo rugongurugusi asebali imeyo muchukisi asenyumba ya Market Plaza irange na Uhuru Plaza chinsage chinde nigochire asemeche ya Nyakoe ensemo ya Kiogi Junction na boigo asumuchukil Goris mbabwati special offer bono asebali bakolire ekerasigia form 4 mwake simi umu manager Rocky Driving School.
Kunazo simulizi nyingi na za wengi ambao wanahitaji msaada.
Baraza is one of the stories. Baraza alikuwa analala nje.
Anasema ati kila mtu atafute kwake, alafu mimi naambiwa nitafute babangu tuende kukula huko.
Alirudi kucheza mpira kama kawaida.
Anatumwagia maji, anapasua vitu kwa nyumba. Alafu kuna siku nyingine hapa alikuja akafungia mamangu kwa nyumba, akaanza kumchapa.
Tazama Save Alive kila Jumatatu na Ijumaa saa 12:30 jioni ndani ya Ndizi TV. Tubadilishe maisha.
Naona ngoma imeshika sana.
Lazima nitese, ndio maana nimeileta studio.
Karibu E-Generation Studio.
Asante.
Walai, ndani kama msukule, miezezeta, vile vitambulisho. Nipete na such kind of love, baby sing unanipenda.
E-Generation Studios igobabwato bokorera ubuya bunabono mbabwate photo studio asura kukibica cingiya cinsera ejo abantu baho baragusunze asama tukare bosyo mbabwate DJ Academy asoko bunduso muzike na wocho kanya cingero cingiya ejo abantu bararengurya mariko mbabwate audio studio ejo egasoka mariyo y'amakironoko nagaiga mwanje are nayo gokora bare live streaming na bwigo mbabwate video shoot asibabwate ti kamera chingia ejo chigosoka chibice chingia kweli kweli komenta nayo mbabwate sound haya ejo erengia asemesangerekano banyole asenyumberi ya Twin Towers lirongo lya gatano na kabere yani 7th floor ibiyumo chiokisi.
Karibu E-Generation.
E-Generation Studio aiga utapenda
Chombe chiboli hani chatwarira amageja nda nteme ko chisibika kabisa kageteboli chisibyo sibya eng'ombe imanya ko bangatiri koreta mabere pia ni ng'amabere ng'asiri pinga ne ngana magecha kai
mwaka misati kai kayo mongna kale ro kale kwengesa buni ke chianga chitikale tata
atali angana ngosibia njombo minto abo konguna nyori ga iga chombe cyane ho kikabwata magecha mange sana oro nataka ngandi yesabunye yo bosie nabana tebe tukuno musani ona gante nango kora ikabire yiga basi nchisibie misati tichibu ati tichikora taranya mabere misati
Ngaki squeeze na jombo sibeli sabuni
ngakikali
kwanya ko Enokem
nkeke
misati tiga konya goteberera neti abantu so musano na gantebya manya iga esabuni eye gosibikianga tali chiombe
hono buna nengire buya iga
tiga ne bintu ebyo mbigo gokonya
nakiwata aba nekoruko
eduke yue goruko Enokem Agrofert egotoka imeyo mucho bosongo
uzongo sita naende bono engoko kwandete engoko ndoche ngi yaga iga
ngokeye omuiri getakagura ne nabugateire iga igwa
nakikale enter tebwe kainde bone cyane kiri gaiga
nepeti nakicho chikagara
echiana tata echikore gusunduka yani amalenya ni garo chigoro
mugaga misati amalyogo yechingoko nwali chindagere chichingoko nochire chindagere chechiombe nochire
ekene bono
nenda nakinayo chagete ndagera kurororo chindagere bakone chingi echikomenta ubunyamasi sendo yawo yango nyoliga neligo lilyabo taligo lilyo kwa boy neligo liligo kwa no mubuko umugaga misati na maene
abusi kwata bano
Enokem Agrofert
tinkoliye barieteri
ayenda iga
Enokem Agrofert diabo diasoire
misweti
kangenda njikoliye wana konko ende ndora mungi na malisera buli ori mugondo ende motebyo ngamangana nare mangana abere buyabo egera njikugura mario gaya none ndagera yechingoko echi
namaine tarira eduka ya Enokem Agrofert imeyungo cho Kisii banyore ase nyumba ya Kisii Kenyoro Farmers Cooperative Society eyuerange na Market Plaza Goshe na buku banyora opposite Shell Petrol Station eyukale ya Karukiru Falcon Petrol Station bono nigo bachakire urusagi rwa borondorogia imeye chinsamo kiri cha yogo ange na yogo primary wigo na buku bakira eshimi Enokem Agrofert, one harvest at a time.
The vast expanse of the Kalahari Desert is punctured at its heart by a lush, tropical oasis. Its river arteries swell with the rains, attracting wildlife in abundance. Yet by the end of the dry season, 95% of the water has vanished. This place of flood and drought is called the Okavango Delta. What causes this extreme natural phenomenon? Kalahari means big thirst. It's the second biggest desert in the world, covering over 93,000 square kilometers. It blankets most of Botswana. It's also home to the largest game reserve in the world, and to a conundrum. It's a place where a staggering 30 million liters of water a day drain from the Okavango River through a labyrinth of lagoons and hidden channels that form the Okavango Delta. This island of green covers an area the size of Connecticut, over 15,000 square kilometers. It's the largest inland delta in the world. But it's also an anomaly. The waters from the mighty Okavango River never reach the sea. Instead, they're sucked into the sands of the Kalahari Desert, or evaporate into the dry atmosphere. How is it possible for this luxurious green haven to exist right in the heart of one of the largest deserts in the world? The Okavango Delta is a story of two extremes: flood and drought. During January and February, rain falling on the Angolan highlands to the north drains into the Okavango River. In 1 month, a massive surge of water races 1,200 kilometers downriver. Over the following 4 months, it floods the delta. Water now dominates the land. There is no getting away from it. Lions usually avoid getting wet. But here in the delta, they must wade through the swamps to patrol their territories and search for prey. So the lions of the Okavango have learned to overcome their deepest fears and teach their young to get wet from the word go. The delta is also home to the Lechwe antelope. They're specialized for life in the swamps and graze in the rich water meadows. They prefer grasses that grow in shallow waters, and so they advance and withdraw across the delta with the ebb and flow of the annual flood cycle. They can't outrun killers like hyenas or wild dogs on dry ground, so they stay in the knee-deep waters as a protection from predators. But sometimes, even the swamps aren't safe. The pride wades through the water, looking for prey. They're focused on making a kill. And when there's lions on the hunt, freeloaders are never far behind. A hyena has spotted the pride stalking through the swamp's long grass. Hoping for an easy meal, it decides to follow. The lionesses focus on a group of Lechwe. But in the water, the swamp-adapted deer are just too quick and agile to catch. This time, the lions leave empty-handed. Hunting in the watery swamps demands exceptional skill. When the floodwaters approach the delta in early May, they're funneled through a natural gateway called the Panhandle. Here, water dominates the landscape year-round. The Panhandle's permanent water channels are home to some well-known inhabitants. King of the Waterways is a title claimed by the hippo. Hippos are totally dependent on permanent water. Deep enough for them to completely submerge. Their sensitive skin loses water much more quickly than other mammals. So hippos must stay waterbound during the heat of the day to avoid dehydration and overheating. But hippos manage to travel all around the delta through a network of swampy labyrinths. By propelling their huge frames through the reeds and grasses, they create hippo highways. As they bulldoze new waterways, they allow the Panhandle's water and fish to spread from one area to the next. And these thousands of fish feed many mouths. Attracted by an easy catch, twice as many people live in this small area of Botswana than in the surrounding Kalahari Desert. The annual floods bring a bounty to the Panhandle. All these women have to do is scoop them up. Or net them in their thousands. The men fish in the Panhandle's waters all year round. They navigate its channels in traditional Mokoro canoes. The local people have learned to adapt their whole way of life to the Panhandle's swamps and waterways. Local Hambukashu women harvest the reeds that line the banks. They're dried and then delicately woven together to construct and repair houses. Homes are built on higher ground to keep clear of the floodwaters. Flash floods could devastate villages and sweep people away in an instant. But with a healthy respect for the river's fluctuating ferocity, local people have learned to thrive here. The Okavango's waters provide everything these people need to survive. And provides rich surroundings where wildlife can flourish. From May onwards, the floodwaters continue to push through the delta. As the floods move through the delta's arteries, it travels slowly at about 1 kilometer a day. It takes 4 months for the incoming floods to travel through the whole delta. The water struggles to penetrate the thick swamp vegetation, so the floodwater doesn't actually reach the southern part of the delta until August. But things used to be very different. Thousands of years ago, the delta's waters extended much further than today. They even reached as far as the Mahadi salt pans, 90 kilometers southeast of today's delta. They are one of the largest salt flats in the world, covering over 15,000 square kilometers. And during the dry season, almost nothing can survive here. But in extremely wet years, the delta's waters still sometimes get as far as the Buteti River, which reaches out to the edge of the pans. But it's been almost 2 decades since the delta's precious floodwaters reached the Mahadi area. It seems fated to remain dry forever. This year, the rains have been especially heavy in the north. There's a change in the air. Animals are drawn towards the parched Buteti riverbed. And all of a sudden, a trickle of water wets the dusty ground. The dry channel of the Buteti River is flooding at long last. Only about 2% of the Okavango's floodwaters have made it to the far end of the delta to fill this riverbed once again. Elephants have picked up the scent of the water several kilometers away, and after surviving the long dry season, they feel like celebrating. Fishermen who used to live by the Buteti River were forced to move or face starvation. Now, they've returned. The arriving floodwaters quenched the thirst of the parched lands to the delta's south. Life finally returns to the areas around the Mahadi Pans. But this reprieve will be short-lived. Soon this precious wet will disappear into the ground or evaporate in the face of the unrelenting sun. But for now, the flood continues, and in the heart of the delta, the wildlife is thriving. Although the desert is never far away, this verdant wetland offers a home for unlikely residents, right in the heart of the Kalahari. This clawless otter hunts for food in the delta's swamps. Crabs, frogs, fish, even snakes and water birds are on the menu. Its body is long and streamlined, propelled by strong hind feet. Its flattened tail is used as a rudder, making this otter a swift and formidable predator. Its clawless, tactile hands are ideal for probing and grasping. And its strong teeth can crush tough body armor. Even though the waters are murky, the otter's sensitive and searching hands can easily find crabs. Fish, though, are more difficult to catch. The otter must hunt them by sight rather than touch. This catfish's swift escape maneuvers make it a tough catch. But once caught, rough skin on the otter's hands means that the slippery fish can't get away. Having eaten his fill, the otter rolls in the long grass to dry his sodden coat. Everything about life in the delta revolves around the wet. Sheets of water cover much of the delta's plains at the height of the flood season. This vast, shallow lake is punctuated with literally millions of small islands. They are all shapes and sizes and rise just high enough above the surrounding reed beds and floodplains to support the growth of trees. And this is where many local animals seek refuge from the unrelenting waters. About 70% of these islands began as termite mounds. Trees and other plants colonized the soil, and gradually the mounds grow into islands, catching more and more deposits from the murky waters. This old termite mound may well have been the foundation of this island. Now abandoned by its original inhabitants, it is a welcome shelter for a group of banded mongooses. These gregarious animals live in large family groups of up to 70 members, and an abandoned termite mound makes an ideal den for the whole tribe. Mongooses search for food in small groups, digging in leaf litter or searching under tree bark for tasty morsels. Some of the band stumble upon a leopard tortoise. Mongooses are very inquisitive, and this tortoise is thoroughly investigated. It doesn't seem to be edible or willing to react to the mongoose's playful probing. So, eventually, they abandon their find. After suffering the indignity of being used as a marking post, the tortoise tentatively emerges from its shell and continues on its way. The band comes across a small herd of grazing impala. They decide to stay and forage alongside them. Mongooses often seek the company of grazing herds or even troops of baboons. More eyes on the lookout for potential predators make for more relaxed feeding. But they can never relax their guard for too long. Hungry killers lurk everywhere. An unwary moment, a quick pounce, and this mongoose has lost to the expert hunting skills of a leopard. But despite this bad luck, the life of the Delta mongooses is easy compared to those outcasts to the Badlands. Just a few kilometers away, the dry brush of the Kalahari takes over. Water quickly becomes a rare luxury. Despite the delta's seasonal ebb and flow, it's nearly always hot and dry here. Life is a constant struggle for survival against the dry heat. Summer temperatures can reach a blistering 45 degrees Celsius. Delta animals, like the water-reliant hippos, simply cannot endure these hot, arid conditions. And so savanna animals take their place. But people have also found ways to survive outside the delta. These are the Bushmen. The secret to their success in this dry, extreme desert is the passing on of key knowledge from generation to generation. This is done using elaborate dances, rituals, and stories. And so life-saving wisdom and experience is passed on to the next generation. Children learn by observing their elders, and the lessons start as early as possible. This village elder knows exactly how to handle this deadly scorpion. The child pays attention. His life could well depend on this knowledge someday. Poisonous insects and deadly animals are part of the Bushman's daily struggle for survival. Finding food is the other crucial lesson. Boys are taught to hunt by the men. Much of the skill is passed on through dramatic reenactments of hunting stories. These children are practicing throwing sticks as deadly weapons. Once they've mastered the art of aiming and throwing, they will graduate onto a range of other weapons. But there's no substitute for first-hand experience. Hunting is vital to the Bushmen's survival. They track on foot. Patience and stamina is what's needed to stalk prey. Bows and arrows are the weapons of choice. These weapons require exceptional hunting ability. The Bushmen have to get within 25 meters of their victim to achieve a deadly hit. But their chances of a kill are increased by a secret weapon. Poison. They've been expert toxicologists for thousands of years and make a whole range of concoctions to tip their arrows. Once hit, it may take hours or even days for the poison to take effect. But death is inevitable. The Kalahari has been the Bushman's home for tens of thousands of years. And over this time, they have refined their extraordinary abilities to get the most from this drought-ridden land. They've learned to rely on the brief rainy season to bring just enough water to last the year. It takes knowledge, perseverance, and preparation to survive. They know exactly where to find food and water, often in the most unlikely places. The juicy fibers of the bai root are an excellent source of water, and it can be used over several years. By replanting after use, it has time to regenerate, ready for next time.
Ndizi TV, ubwansu bw'omuguzi.
ayumwanju w'egetasini kya Ndizi TV nabo gutubwate gwitira senjera y'omutandao ya www.ndizitv.net iri gutuligireria na bwigo gusonje mirubiri yitwa chinsemero 24 nyoranka nabo gusonje gwitira sesimi yaho yakoboko laptop smart TV iriyo wegokie Ndizi TV obwanso bw'omuguzi.
Kurikira bono ayabunu mwagachi kwa manyiri eduka okugenda kujya ibintu byose biriyo gukorera imirimo yawo. Osmo Traders Limited nigo babwate kitari cyo kwaranse ase nyumba yawo nabo igo kubeka sinyasi bune babu egikoni living room nabo igo ekikobe kwesiko babwate sanitary wares ubuna chising chibakuri chezi cho chonsi showers, towel holders, soap dishes, racks, mirrors na hand basins. Chirangi chonsi chiriya chikuburukanibwa ne computer nabo igo chiri spray paints no chire mbabwate chipboard buna chips and boards, MDF boards na chip boards. Ebinto au byo gukora plumbing buna PVC joints, PVC pipes na chi water taps chonsi no chire boigo na bokugura chi curtain rods, hood screws, chingulu chonsi, door locks, chi pipe wrench spanners, screwdrivers, banyore old Sansura building angena Kisi main bus stage gusua Kisimi ase namba enotisano nebire eye mokianda inyeisano enotinye inyeisano nemo. Osmo Traders Limited, customer satisfaction guaranteed.
Kunazo simulizi nyingi na za wengi ambao wanahitaji msaada.
Baraza is one of the stories. Baraza alikuwa analala nje.
Anasema ati kila mtu atafute kwake, alafu mimi naambiwa nitafute babangu tuende kukula huko.
Alirudi kucheza mpira kama kawaida.
Anatumwagia maji, unapaswa vitu kwa nyumba. Alafu kuna siku nyingine hapa alikuja akafungia mamangu kwa nyumba, akaanza kumchapa.
Tazama Save Alive kila Jumatatu na Ijumaa saa 12:30 jioni ndani ya Ndizi TV. Tubadilishe maisha.
Bono ga kimbororo kiobo no mugondo yone esuguma yoka ebalirete burure ina guliangire kamera chinsaga chioka yani chiangire nga kibo kieke bono neliro balibe nobo tunabwota nabwata ga kinyombali mugaka misati ka kiobo tunabwata bo sini ninga siara bwakure ka ibona ngo sara nga inande ngorusyo bo tubonde ka mugondo okorara bosa
mongina yangu na cheiga to bana wasiwasi ndiro ime duka ya Enokem chinyake chichonsi pi utachakiriri na gweli chinsaga tocheka pechi esuguma
chionzi
ya
duka kieye
Enokem Agrofet nubuye bwo top mboro
nakikwayeroka
Enokem Agrofet
Agrofet
nabante
obo twabonzi no bogotoka
sambulie chichonsi pi nojire
yombo minto
ngai bagotoka
kwanda maya
bosongo yeto mata
bosongo nsa
nje na chire ayemo mongina malisa nje tikamanya ko chikora ko ryo chombe asenge ncho chombe chito na nanyo ama yoko nongo ya nyorabo Enokem
minyoka anga kwaikire
sokere keke ga mugaka
gatimbu yamono sana mugaka misati ondeta naliyo tubwechi insaga
tindaga tekanyo chiabo eri peinene
raisi
bana mubuko
ngono nchana banganyara kogora
aye bakwa 40
mugaka misati ndetanelio spinach. Niko bana lira baliane.
Wasa kutora wasi ndio sinalitisaka chao chiangire raiga. Ira baba gopima. Bako tingi kifata niko sime kworo. Kwa beko ibintu byakoraki. Byasa seria.
Kakiti gaminyoke. Wote ba Enoke mu Agrovet. Omugaka misati. Onde tanelio spinach. Okorrobo songo to goite bwango minyoka chogonsa.
Namaine ayirira natarira eduka ya Enoke mimero mu cyobusongo eliko enyorera amaryogo yo gusyalira bimeri endagira neti supplement chetugo amaryogo yo gusyalira ekenyambi chimbusuro amoyo ebicucu byogotuga egatia yanda mange naboko banyora imeyo mu cyokisi Kenyoro Farmers Cooperative Society eyirange na Market Plaza Goshe naboko banyora opposite Shell Petrol Station eyukale ya Karukiro Falcon Petrol Station. Bono niko bachakira urusagi rw'aborondorogia imiye chinsamo chiri cha yogo angena yogo primary wigo naboko bakira eshimi Enoke Agrovet, one harvest at a time.
Ngorore kanale lakini abante babo bwata kumubwata usitima dingi bakote ngorore kanale. Wana serikali kimuranje mwana tubatsa mangana haya. Motokonya turoitwa bene babo banene.
Ikiyiga asorobotiri wa bene.
Aiga nenka yomugaka Francis Mutali amo nomongnoye Ellen.
Ekirero ky'obusibule na Vincent Onyancha.
Nigoto kwaliganirwa nebisiriri.
Niagara tuigete nyagitari abatotebiria mangana makonga.
Kamte amumulikangiriso nkomumulikiriso.
Bono igatwatigaira chintakana.
Ne Jumapili ye gochakirensa ya monenusu ya magoroba naboigo chinsesa tonenusu cha magoroba
nabututaramanya ngaki batoge tororo
mutarenge wancaga kimo abana babaminta bamuraba batigaira omurembe
ekirero ky'obusibule
ikiara omuntu yitete mutali bado nwale noni tuntori safe
watetariki
Ndizi TV obwansu bw'omuguzi omurobiri okubwatya nigobekirwe igoro y'emyaka 13 naigo abalinse y'emyaka eyo nigo balinse y'amorokereryo y'abaibuli
Wapi bana?
Navidashi.
Ya fresh.
Uko wapi?
Ya niko nyumbani hapa na nganga mifugo.
Sasa sikiliza mzee. Njoni nyumbani faster. Njoo na Grant hapa. Faster basi mwana.
Poa, sasa hivi tunakuja.
Bali.
Wa Grant. Njoo mwana. Oya babu. Sikia. Vivani kapiga simu sasa hivi. Amesema twende kwao. Kuna jambo muhimu sana.
Hai, asubiri nani ufanya kubadilisha nguo.
Poa poa, ngoja mimi mwenyewe nikachange nguo pale. Mzee baba.
Wazee.
Oa.
Kama gawa.
Sana yani.
Yes. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Wazee mnawai.
Unajua tena mawasiliano yako yametushikwa haraka. Unajua tena.
Fresh wazee. Sababu vizuri kuna muda. Sasa. Bana kuna jambo. Sasa sijui naanzia wapi kuambia. Bora mngeona wenyewe. Najua.
Iliwa umenipata wapi?
Iliwa nilikuwa zangu Google hapa. Naangalia mazingira yangu ya picha. Sasa nikaa ndio sehemu imelikuwa password. Nikaingiza na kuletea mzigo wao.
Hii si ndio wa video nimetafuta.
Mimi nifikiria hivyo.
Hili.
Wewe?
Niko singia hapo.
Hii ngo mzee. Hii hela.
Singia hapo. Hiyo si ramani hiyo. Hii ndio ramani ya sehemu husika ambapo kunapatikana hilo ua.
Alafu unaonekana sio mbaya na yani sio mbaya sana ujue.
Maeneo haya
ila hii sehemu inaonekana hakuna mtu ambaye ashakufika.
Sasa jamani, mimi ninachoona cha msingi hapo haina haja kupoteza muda. Sawa, kama mnavyojua thamani ya ile ua. Sawa. Alafu pia ramani yenyewe inaonyesha sehemu ya kufika. Sawa. Kwa hapa cha msingi kinachotakiwa tupange, tujue tunafanyaje kufika sehemu husika kutokana na ramani yenyewe inapozungumza. Kweli. Ila ninachotakiwa tuwe makini sana. Tuwe makini sana kwa sababu ili ua lina thamani na linafuatiliwa sana. Hivyo inavyotakiwa tuwe makini sana.
Zile nani ziko kwa samples?
Zile samples ziko maskani
nyumbani.
Hizo
zina shida nazo sana hizo. Muhimu sana. Sasa sikilizeni wazee. Mimi naona hii swala hapo nipangie tabii mkubwa. Ili mwanangu ajue. Sio dinga mambo yao kwa anafuatilia sana.
Pangie bi mkubwa nini? Hii hataki kumshirikisha mtu yoyote.
Sawa. Fresh.
Sisi nabidi tuende tukachukue ua hili.
Wewe chukua hizo sample. Alafu tunakutana pale. Kwa siku zote.
Mimi naona sasa tukuache ili tukaandae mazingira nini?
Haina noma mwanangu.
Au si?
Hii ndio bingo ujue.
Bingo mwanetu hii. Sasa
baridi wazee.
Poa mwanetu. Baada ya masaa 3 tutakuwa pamoja.
Haina noma boss. Bwana, nashukuru sana kwa kuwa tumekubaliana na muda na tumefika muda mwafaka. Jambo zuri sana kwa kwenda na wakati, ni jambo safi. Sasa ndugu zangu, nafikiri tuna kitu cha kuangalia kwanza. Najua kila mtu hapa anataka kuwa na maisha mazuri, anataka kuwa familia nzuri, nyumba, gari. Lakini mambo yote haya hatuwezi kuyapata kama hatujafanya kazi ngumu kama hizi ambazo tunataka tufanye nini? Tuzifuate. Bwana mkubwa kaja na zile sample ambazo tulikubaliana aje nazo, hizi hapa mbili. Sample ya kwanza ina rangi hii. Sample ya pili pia ina rangi hii hapa. Sawa eh? Lakini tukiangalia vizuri lile huwa tuloangalia pale nyumbani inafanana na hili. Yaani lile huwa inafanana na Gideola kabisa, copyright. Lakini inavyoonekana hili huwa liko mara mbili. Yaani kuna fake alafu kuna original. Hili ni fake. Kwa nini ni fake? Fake ukikata kama sasa hivi yaani baada ya dakika 2 inanyauka kama mnavyoiona hii. Lakini Gideola ukikata kama mfano kama sasa hivi maximum linakaa takriban siku 100. Liko kama liko vile vile. Na utofauti mwingine wa ua hili na Gideola, hili hapa linapandwa simu mbalimbali. Simu nyingine wameka makanisani, simu nyingine wameka mpaka nyumbani kama maua. Lakini Gideola lile kuna sehemu zake za kuota. Sehemu za ambazo sio za chemichemi, sio za maji unyevu ule. Kozi zinaotaga sehemu kama sehemu yani polini ndani sana, mapango yani sambazo yani si rahisi kama mtu kuingia kwenye hilo poli. Lakini licha hivyo tuna ua jingine ili hapa ambao tunafanyia utafiti. Hii ua ni kwa ajili ya ugonjwa wetu ule mlipuko wa Night 7. Lakini hili nafikiri tutashughulikia baada ya kumaliza swala hili. Hili ua jina lenyewe lina faida kwa sababu kwa miaka tunavyoiona mlipuko ya magonjwa yanazidi kuwa ni mingi. Kwa hiyo hili ua litatoa support kubwa sana kwa ajili ya kutengeneza kutafuta namna ya kuweza kutafuta kinga ya huo ugonjwa wa Night 7. Leo tupo hapa kwa sababu ya hili ua. Tunalifanya fanyaje ili tulipate ua original yake?
Mimi nilikuwa na wazo.
Wazo gani?
Kwa nini tusitafute company ya kutusaidia sisi kufanya jambo hili au kufanikisha jambo hili? Na company yenyewe tutafute mwanasayansi.
Mwanasayansi? Mwanasayansi unampataje?
Mwanasayansi yupo na uwezo wa kupatikana upo.
Basi aletwe.
Lakini jamani mkumbuke kabisa kwa ili swala tulisema tutalibeba sisi kama sisi. Sasa leo hii mtafute mwanasayansi tufanye naye kazi. Muone kama utakuwa tatizo.
Unajua hii kazi ni ngumu. Na tunapoenda kufanya inawezekana tusifanikiwe. Lakini tukimpata mwanasayansi kwa sababu yeye ana uelewa mkubwa. Ana uwezo wa kuchanganua haya maua, ana uwezo wa kuchanganua vitu kibao, hata msituni mule unaweza kupata shida, akasema bwana shida inafanyika hivi na hivi na hivi. Kwa hivyo utakuwa sisi ni urahisi zaidi kupata ile ua. Ushaona? Kwa tukimpata mwanasayansi kazi yetu itakuwa ni rahisi sana kuifanya na tutafanikiwa kwa muda mfupi.
Kwa hiyo tunampata wapi sasa huyo mwanasayansi?
Mwanasayansi yupo. Yupo.
Basi aletwe.
Lakini sasa jinsi ya kumpata ni yupo, ila jinsi ya kumpata hapa kipindi cha nyuma alifanya kazi alisoma lakini kwa bahati mbaya kufanikiwa kupata kazi na akakaa kwa muda mfupi akafiwa na wazazi wake wote wawili kupata ajali. Kwa hiyo yote akiyajumlisha kidogo, yani akili yake kukaa vizuri, yani kaa ni mtu mwenye mawazo sana.
Kuona maanisha kwa tayari ziko tuje tufanye kazi na mtu ambaye akili yake iko vizuri.
Yaani chizi.
Ya, inawezekanaje?
Simaanishi hivyo. Simaanishi chizi, simaanishi akili yake ipo vizuri, hamna. Kama nilivyosema, hakupata kazi, pia wazazi wake walifariki. Kwa hiyo ile hali ikamvuruga kiakili.
Kwa hiyo sio chizi.
Sio chizi, ni mtu mwenye akili zake. Na tukimfikishia hili jambo, kwa vile jambo na hela ndefu, na jambo hili linaeleweka, mshaona, atalipokea kwa mikono miwili na atafanya na uhakika kwa 100% ili jambo hili tutafanikiwa kwa kupitia yeye.
Sawa. Ila niwaambie ni kitu kimoja. Mkumbuke hatuna muda. Ili swala la kumtafuta huyu mwanasayansi, naomba lisitumie muda mrefu, kwa sababu tuko nje na muda. Hatuna muda.
Sasa hapo kwa kumpata inabidi sisi tukamtafute. Na kumtafuta kwake mimi tutaanzia mwanzo mpaka mwisho, na naamini tutampata kwa 100%.
Sawa. Ila jamani, ili swala la kumpata huyo mtu naomba lisitumie muda mrefu sana, kwa sababu tuko nje na muda.
Huyu kwa sababu kwa kuwa namjua. Anamjua vizuri, anajua anapoishi, anajua mazingira yake. Kwa hiyo tunafikiri kuanzia mwanzo wa hili swala mpaka mwisho, nafikiri huyu ndo atuongoze namna kumpata.
Yes, of course.
Hilo limeisha.
Hilo limeisha.
Haina nini.
Hilo ikibidi tu kafanya mambo mengine. hapa. Ni hapa kama mnavyoona mazingira hayo. Sawa.
Wenyewe
Na bila shaka nadhani naweza kukaa kwenye nyumba hii, anakaa kwenye nyumba hii. Hapo. Yeah. Tunakaa hapa. Waenda kwa mikoa
wenyewe.
Lazima pakoe.
Wewe. Kuna mtu kweli hapa?
Nadhani atakuwepo.
Wenyewe. Hapa mna mtu bana hapa.
Mimi nadhani naweza akawepo. Pako kimya.
Kama mtaonekana? Wenyewe. Hapa mtu hamna hapa. Hapa.
Hata nafikiri usilikuwa yupo. Ndio. Sasa nafikiri pendeni.
Jamani. Habari saizi. Naitwa Vivan. Samani. Wewe ndo Satra. Samani sana. Sisi ni wanafunzi wa chuo kikuu cha utafiti. Tumepata taarifa kwamba kuna mlipuko wa ugonjwa unatabiriwa kuwepo. Tumekuja hapa baada ya kusikia kwamba wewe ni mwanasayansi bingwa. Usaidie kutafuta huu mmea ambao utakuwa ni tiba baada ya ugonjwa kuingia uraiani. Samahani sana. Kama ndakuwa tunakwaza, labda niende moja kwa moja. Sisi tunafanya utafiti na tumegundua kuhusu mmea wanaoita video.
Vidiola ni mmea wenye sumu, tena sumu kali sana, na umeshaua watu wengi sana. Mmoja kati ya watu uliowaua ni babangu mzazi, hivyo sidhani kama itakuwa rahisi kufikia mmea huo, ila kwa sababu umenipata mimi nitawasaidia.
Nashukuru sana kwa
nashukuru sana dada. Lakini ushirikiano unaoonyesha sasa hivi endelea kuonyesha mpaka kazi iishe.
Msijaji.
Basi sawa. Nafikiri safari yenyewe ni baada ya hizi siku mbili. Kwa hivyo tunapokuacha hapo basi tunaomba ufanye maandalizi. Tutakupitia siku ya kesho kutwa kwa ajili ya safari. Unajua nini? Yaani nilipomuona yule mwanasayansi. Yaani kwa nilipomuona mwanzo nguo zake. Na yale ambayo ameongea tu vitu tofauti. Yaani nilipomuona pap kajua mwenda wazimu. Chizi. Kumbe sio bwana, ana elimu kubwa yule. Oh. Naambia kwa kupitia yule pale sisi tunafanikiwa. Cha kuomba. Mimi naona tayari hela hizi hapa. Cha kuomba tusiwe na tamaa. Jamani, tukiwa umoja tutafika mbali. Ila tamaa yani hizi ni masuala kama haya haitakiwi kabisa ndugu zangu.
Mimi niseme kitu kimoja hapo. Kuhusu swala la tamaa, mimi nadhani hakuna mwenye tamaa. Video hizo kusema na tamaa, mimi hizo kusema na tamaa, wewe unasema na tamaa. Kikubwa tu sisi tuwe na ushirikiano, tufanye kazi kwa uimara ili mambo yaende. Sawa. Na cha kukazia zaidi hapo nasema nikizipata na ex watakoma. Tena watakoma hasa watanisumbua.
Mawazo yako.
Ndio hivyo.
Hayo ni mawazo potofu. Yaani mimi najua unakaa unawaza baada ya kuzipata hizi pesa utafanya kitu cha msingi ambacho nchi yako itakuja kunufaika nacho. Unawaza mambo ya maex. Mimi labda niseme kitu kimoja. Kwenye job plate tayari tumeshaongezeka mtu. Tumeshakuwa watu 4 sasa. Sio cha msingi kwenye masuala ya pesa. Mimi nadhani huyu mwanasayansi tumwangalie sana kwa jicho la tatu. Kwa sababu yeye ndio kiongozi wa sisi kufika sehemu husika.
Wewe swala hilo usiteseke. Hilo swala niachie. Hatuwezi kumwacha, ni mtu muhimu ule.
Hivi Vivani. Ila account yako shafungua?
Imefunguliwa mwezi uliopita lakini sijaanza kuweka hela.
Kwa nitegemea mzigo tukizo tunaweka wapi sasa?
Kwenye account yangu haina tatizo mbona?
Weka kwenye account yangu bwana.
Wewe. Acha upuuze wewe.
Jamani. Mambo ya account ya nini? Yaani nyewe mnakaa mnaanza kusua account. Hapa cha msingi pesa zikishapatikana ni mwendo wa chesi. Tunaenda benki tuna draw pesa, kila mtu anachukua fungu lake, anajua jinsi ataifanyia nini ile pesa.
Hapo Vidashi umeongea point. Yaani bora ifunguliwe account to draw hela. Mambo mengine yahusike.
Mambo ya mademu hayo. Acha kupamba.
Mimi kama nilivyosema maex watasumbua sana mimi. Tasumbua.
Sasa angalia. Angalau usiangukie pua.
Niangukie pua wapi? Mimi. Ambaye long time kidogo ago.
Ago
Wewe Vidashi.
Sababu vipi au?
Yaani unachopaka karatasi ya amani naungua. Sasa karatasi imeshaungua. Tuna survive vipi msituni?
Mwanangu ni imetokea tu usingizi umenipitia ghafla.
Kulala kwako kutatusaidia sisi nini? Karatasi imeshaungua afu na navyo umelala.
Mwanangu nimepitiwa na usingizi basi mbaya tu yani.
Usingizi utatufikisha wapi?
Mama kelele vipi una nini tena hapa?
Karatasi ishaungua alamani. Na palipoungua tulipotoka. Tunapoenda pameungua.
Come on. Vidashi. Wewe ni aje mwanangu? Mbona kwa sana mwanangu wewe?
Mwanangu kama nifahambieni bahati mbaya.
Bahati mbaya wewe kwenye kazi kuna bahati mbaya.
Mwanangu mimi nishakwambia umshikaji mara ya pili. Hatuwezi kufanya naye kazi huu.
Nini kimetokea?
Kimetokea nini? Ramani imeungua.
Ramani ishaungua hapa.
Kwenye kazi unalala.
Sasa na beto rudi tulipotoka.
Turudi tulipotoka? Hiyo impossible.
Utafikaje sasa?
Hiyo impossible.
Why?
Hata tukao tulipotoka ni tumehangaikia sana hapo tulipotoka.
Sasa wewe hebu nielekeze kuanzia hapo unaenda vipi bila ramani?
Hebu nisikilizeni. Tulipotoka ni mbali mpaka tunafika hapa. Kwa hivyo kikubwa vichwa vyetu inabidi tutulize kumbukumbu. Utaenda iwe leo iwe kesho na tutalifikia hilo ua. Mimi ramani nayo kichwani.
Mimi ndio kama ungefanya mambo kama rafiki yangu.
Vidashi, usijali kwa hiyo tokea. Nitakaa sawa.
Unajua ndio ndugu yangu. Hapa sielewi chochote hapa ndugu yangu. Tupo hapa kichwa. Hatuna ile wala lile. Lakini cha ajabu bado tuna ile imani kwamba jambo letu hili ambalo tuna shida nalo litafanikiwa. Ni kweli na mimi naamini tutafanikiwa. Tutafanikiwa. Maana tupo karibu.
Siku nyingine ukishirikisha watu wapuuzi katika hii kazi, mimi bora usiniambie nikaja kuifanya hii kazi. Kwa sababu mtu from nowhere tu anachoma ramani wakati anajua kabisa hii ramani ni ya muhimu na ina umuhimu kiasi gani katika msitu uliokuepo, alafu mtu anachoma tu. Hivi just imagine tungekuwa hii ramani hatujaitunza katika akili zetu, kwenye kumbukumbu zetu, tungesurvive vipi katika msitu?
Isingewezekana.
Mimi nakwambia nikishaimaliza hii kazi, ikikamilika kabisa, mzigo tukiuza, hii kazi naacha. So I went to go America.
Uko sahihi sana.
Okay.
Mimi plan yangu pia nikipiga hii bingo hii mzee wangu. Ni staafu tu hizi kazi. Nataka tu ni waajiri vijana. Wao wanafanya hizi issue. Kwa hiyo usiwaze sana. Tushirikiane ili swala hili liishe, mambo mengine yataendelea.
Ila mshikaji kukela sana.
Achana naye. Wengine sasa tujili nayo.
Sasa leo tukaone mashikaji kwa maana tunashabikia hao.
Basi rudi kemp. Vijana kana nao bwana.
Ndio vijana.
Unakana naye. Ana shida na wewe. Mbili sasa.
Unaliona hili bonde?
Hilo.
Hiyo. Ndio inapopatikana ua la vidiola. Nzuri, lakini ilo ua kulipata yani ni kazi ngumu. Tena ni kazi kubwa sana. Nisikilize. Kama ramani ilivyotuonyesha ndio mahali ni hapa. Kwa hiyo sasa tunatakiwa kila mtu tujigawe, kila mtu apite sehemu yake kuitafuta hilo ua. Ili atakayeliona hilo ua usiwe kulishika. Maka lile ua lina sumu kali sana. Mmoja wapo atakayeliona hilo ua atatujulisha, tutafika paka tutangalia jinsi gani ya kuchukua hiyo.
Hilo imeisha.
Hiyo haina shida. Ile ingia hapa.
Taratibu.
Aniliu huko. Ngoja.
Na hapa tahadhari.
Oniel! Vidasi! Jojo wali hapa! Mwita na vipani! Mzigo wenyewe huo. Hivi hapa hivi.
Siamini macho yangu. Hili ndo ua la vidiola. Hili hapa.
Hapa tayari.
Wa mzigo wenyewe.
Hapa mama.
Niweke kwenye begi.
Tia kwenye begi tulokinalo kabisa.
Kwenye begi.
Hii haisi kutia kwenye begi.
Sasa tunaiweka wapi?
Hivi. Nataka kifaa kiwe kina maji, afu tuweke ndani ya maji.
Tuna chupa.
Chupa nyesi.
Maji kupunguza maji hayo, maji mengi.
Maji haya yanatosha.
Ila maji ya kunywa haya.
Wewe.
Hela kunywa.
Maji ya kunywa kwenye hela.
Unaona.
Yuko anishike kidogo.
Ndio tulia bana usika ukakitagunde.
Si ameni changu.
Naenda kuwa boss.
Jamani. Binafsi nashukuru sana kwa msaada, tumesaidiana, tumekuwa wamoja mpaka tumepata kitu hiki hapa. Hii sisi ndio utajiri wetu. Sawa Kwa la msingi hapa ni kupumzika kwa leo, maana muda umeenda. Asubuhi na mapema tunaamka mpaka mjini. Tukifika mjini ni kutafuta namna ya kuuza ili ua. Kwa hiyo umakini unahusika sana kwenye kulilinda pia mpaka kufika huko mjini.
Unasubiri kama mwambie bustani.
Bustani?
Unaenda kukojoa.
Anakojoa. Angalia. Mapoli ya watu haya.
Ndizi TV Ubwansu Bwomogusi.
Busana nenda somorovelyo aha umanchu muliyera naro chinga amaboli abetega kuboli gwikeria na mange akakumya nga lero ngakina habika nabe tofauti gabuna batana leti akerkine nabo kora tomanya nga ekero montago so amagaiga ngikeria bwenete kubeka na ndi nasiki
Bia mona seri bagerio maya na batebia nga ekero montago chama tanga ni kabisa ya kubeka chibuti kwa hiyo ni dust coat no tukaba abo yobeka na gloss
asiki umuntu bwenete gutwara ibinde byonse ngenda kubikire yangeri yane na runero ku runyomba ngichenso elioka
umuralia ndakoboli nga ekaba kwache gaba nimba yantu balenga kwanya nchira kwa kwanije abange abandi bale kuhaga iri umuntu akuhaga nabo kwanya gotire none liko kala na kororo kende ngia kuwera se yanga bone yangi yekato kupakia masi abo kwanya ro sibo kuna bo kwera na gari sibugale to kupaki kuru kwanya wali chams chia sero chiororo
ngorore kanale lakini abandi abo bwata kumubwata usitima dingi bakote ngorore kanale wana serikali kimuranje mwana tubatsa mwana ya motokonya turoitwa bene wabo banene
ikiyiga asoro botirwa bene
aiga nenka yomugaka Francis Mutari amo nomongnoye Ellen
ekirero ky'obusibule na Vincent Onyancha
igoto kwariganirwa nebisiriri
nyegero tuyigete nyagitari abatotebiria magana makonga
te amumulika ngeliso nko mumulekeliso
ono igatwatigaira chintakana
ne Jumapili ye ochakirensa ya monenusu ya magoroba naboigo chinsesa tonenusu cha magoroba
nabututara amanyanga ngaki batoge tororo
mutarenge wancaga kimo abana babaminta bamuraba batigaira omurembe
ekirero ky'obusibule
ikiara umuntu yitete Mutari bado nwale noni tuntori safe
wate tariki ayumwanju wegeta sini kya Ndizi TV nabo tubwate gwetera senjera y'omutandao ya www.ndizitv.net ili kutuligireria na boigo gusonja mirubiri ito chinse 24 nyoranka nabo gusonja gwetera sesimi yao yakoboko laptop smart tv elio wegokie Ndizi TV obwanso obumagusi
omwana bwembe bakatebya omwana bwenguko ngaye omwana bwembe bakaboli omwana
Chingekero shomogusi
Nyangweso ni ngenda tingokola Nyangweso na koire ritime kora nyorenga bi oretera abantu simanya kitinge tuabeta wanjireyo nanjire
Keraritu kori Alamisi enseye monenusu ya Maragoba
Echinenchi ngekero cy'umugusi tukuna gukwanira entekenene no kuinyorania igwa aziteyo nobori ore na mukaye oranyora mangana manzu budaya
goika abantu baitu bamanyena n'abagusi bale abantu basomibwe batware chisemi chinyinge lakini mbabwati insoni
bunadobona okwererega obunobukano obukano bwo agatumekire engagi nyani cyareko yagiye baba yagiye timoni jo magazine beni na igule beni Maragoba
maokoro nsara maya patina bagubuleva engenchende omuntu ureko bana abantu abangai naenda abanne iga bare ko mwachinga njo n'echumbu cyo komenya asinga kiriaro ninga kiegochigocha
kila rituko lia Aramisi wanzire nsemo nenusu mpaka ase umuroberiyo yokwera
Numiroroye rituko ria Ijuma chinsa isano ne mochia mugaso nasiko gichana
Womokunguzyo mazyo miaka yako manya barubero semo mwana Wokunguzyo mazyo miaka yako manya barubero
omwana wembe bakaboli omwana bwenguko ngaye
kong'una bogosi muno gochaka sengenjo ekwagenda nebirengere ringa nkomonyorora ari erinde okwana nere nganemo onyogoiterera moche komo
bona soga goitwa nyokobona gokwa no moke kwarege nakorangirite nkwate bikari tangania mole mungu ese inde borobati ketali arombiere no bantu babunya kulisa lisioro boli mumbu yebole muntu yobukunire
ikobole momboro
ai mukaya ngitade okobona kitate ai ne ndugu yane
karati gango ya
omusekuratiga omaete boni ke konengo bakera
omoitongo
Ndizi TV obwansu bwomogusi Omurobiri okobwatia nigo bekirwe igoro y'imyaka 13 naigo abalinse y'emyaka eyo nigo balinse ya morokerio ya Baibuli
Mwanjumulilia Ondizi TV ngukwali ni bene ase wiki yende ime yomoroberio gwomuganone omoroberio wochera kali Jumatano ensa eyemone nusu ya Maragoba stokoba tugusanga n'abageni ao bebirengo ao abana siasa abonjulia abagosoli ebyatana boigo abarayi bekanisa ase Maragoba yabono indenege siakanene gosanga nomo overseer utenete chikanisa chiricho bomo bwa Church of God county ya Nyamira as erieta Elkana omwenga kolende kitone no moroberio yekirenge kanata tebike moroberio yo no kwa omukia no boseminga naye no bwendrete obego gusaka kurwa sekerengo ekemuguchia ase kende korabe